all the way tonight, Chewy. Hit it.
Let the light shine in, moon to a hail Satan, and fire their medicine. Let the light shine in. It's showtime. Knock, knock, here's Johnny. Radical transparency, truth bearer. Ghost in the machine. Led to us, dead switch, pourer of poisons. Produces the snake that talks. To harmony, lady, come forth and walk. Vibes of the cosmos. The satire of it all. Beckon you with smoke that plumes. Rattlesnake, Dr. Doom. Support your local witches. I'm cutting the rugs, hitting the switches. Singing songs for the sadists. Hail Satan, fuck the haters. Sing the muse. 1, 2, 1, 2, just a little bit'll do. Evil love, something wicked this way comes. Evil love, wicked is as wicked does. We smell like indica, light it up. Let the light shine in. Moon to a hail Satan, and fire their medicine. Let the light shine in.
Welcome back to Lady Babylon. This is Initiating Apocalypse on a Monday night. Can you believe this? Oh, God, it's going to be gorgeous tonight, people. Look what? This is part 1 in a 4-part series. Part 1, a 4-part series. It is absolutely going to be delicious. Why is that? Because I am going to show you the origins of your own religions. We're going to look right through. We're not going to do it with ideas. We're not going to do it with theology. We're not going to do it with a 12-step process of understanding it. Nobody's going to be Buddha when we're done. But I can tell you this much. You will see for the first time the origins of your religions. And today we're going to talk Jewish cult. Jewish cult. And how do we find that Jewish cult? What is our evidence? Our evidence is always the same thing with me. It's the language. And we are talking Greek, baby. We are talking Greek. I'm going to take you in to the oldest Jewish cult that is there. Oh, God. And you're going to be surprised when you find out it's only 2nd century, right? It's going to surprise you. You're going to be, oh, fantastic. People are starting to be aware of the cracks in the history and its narrative and the fairy tale. People are seeing the cracks, and it's absolutely gorgeous. What am I going to bring you tonight? I'm going to bring you Jewish cult in its very earliest form, and we're going to focus our ship. We're going to put our ship on drugs, right? That's where our navigation system, Chewy, set the navigation system for drugs tonight, because we are going in. You know, one of the funniest things, people, was the response that I got in my Bryn Mawr classical review of the Chemical Muse. That, you know, somebody reminded me of that today, and I thought, oh, God, if you get a chance, go and read it, please. Please go and read it. It's hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious. And it's so woefully sad now that I'm told that the author of the article is now writing things and talking about shaman. And he's talking about the same thing that he attempted to destroy me with. And I'm giving this to you people, Lady Babylon's congregation of Satan. I'm giving it to you because I admire you, and you make me want to live up to a higher standard. And I want you to see that this very same criticism is the lamest. It's of people who just are not at the top of their field, right? For this idiot to have missed all the drugs now 10, 15 years later is catching up, right? Amazing. These people are, I'm telling you, as a Ronin, I can speak freely, and I'm telling you, the field of classics has so let you down, Oh, God. They're so stupid. The proof of it is that Princeton blew its own legs off, right? No more Greek. Oh, my God. Why, Princeton? It's too hard for these people, right? And by the way, don't pretend you're a student of mine unless you can make it through more than the third unit of the intensive course. And the reason I say that is next week I'm having a student of mine come on who has been through the entire course. Now, I'm in the process of making that completely available to you free, right, on the internet, so you can just take it at your leisure. And this week, I will, on Wednesday, bring you back to and you, because I know people have been asking me, why are you doing it? While I'm here talking about this, let me just send a shout out to my reading group who usually meets on Mondays. Shout out. Keep it up, people. They are reading the ass. I told them, go dig into the ass. Pull out what you can. And boy, have they done it. Lucian is glorious, right? It's a work of his. Right? Fantastic. Anyway, let's not get lost, because tonight I need to bring you, now I'm going to bring you some new passages. These are going to stun you, but I want to tell you right away that these are all from the Bible before what you call the New Testament. These are what you may call the Jewish holy writings. This is the Septuagint. Every source here I'm bringing you tonight is from the Septuagint. Primarily the book of Tobit, the wisdom of Solomon. Got a little Maccabees in there, a couple of prophets, Malachi. Whew, throw them in, right? Oh, God, little Deuteronomy. Dirty what? Dirty onto me. Oh, fantastic. Deuteronomy. It's going to be gorgeous. And what am I doing? I'm just taking it to the cult. Drugs. And how am I able to summon? Is it a mystery? No, I'm using the TLG, people. That's all. It's a scientific analysis. Show me all the drugs in the Bible. Boom, 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 boom. I've got hundreds I can go over. 3 lines at a time. Pow, 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 pow. Oh, God. All to bring you this guy. Look at this guy. What is he doing? I'm going to give you the short of it tonight, people. Judaism, originally, in its earliest form, is a cult involving the use of drugs in the practices that are, you and I may call necromantic. Oh, God, there's a whole bunch of goody. It's goody, goody, goody. Remember, Yahoo grants your wish, your binding wish. If you're a dude and you see another dude and you're like, dude, and he's like, dude, praise Yahoo. Bring the binding together. We have the texts that show this. Okay, now you're like, what? That was from previous Lady Babylon, right? Previous Lady Babylon. We're talking about Yahoo as the grantor of the homosexual union. And if that surprises you that the earliest Jewish cult is granting beneficence to homosexual unions, hey, things change over time. You gotta just, you work with the evidence that you're given, right? We have those magical texts. They're absolutely gorgeous. Now, some of this that we're going to talk about tonight, like Sirach, and Tobit, right? Some of that stuff is, well, it's not considered canonical. You know what I mean? When is this stuff from that I'm bringing you from the Septuagint? It's 2nd and 1st century, right? Really 2nd century BC, right? Maybe as late as 1st. Sirach, for example, has a preface to it that tells you who it is who's writing it and for what purpose, right? And they talk about, now, granted, everybody knows that this is a phony preface, right? Right? But what's interesting is in the phony preface, which is dated to much later than the original, it's not, it's a question of difficulty in translation, right? From the Hebrew. Surprise. Surprise. Now the tables are turned for Sirach, and the person who wrote the preface. Now remember, that's what we're interested in. When you read something, you're reading from the perspective of the author, right? And that author is anchored within time. And the documents that we're talking about now are anchored in Hellenistic Alexandria. Do you understand? And the influence of the museum. Right? It's all over them. So the fact that somebody is trying to say this preface to Sirach says, look, we have other books. It doesn't mention any, but it says, look, we have other books, none of which ever showed up. Right? It's a preface written exactly as you would expect from someone who was appropriating a tradition, a linguistic tradition. Yeah, it's like a big red palm. We caught you red-handed, right? It's the falsification of a text in order to create what you and I would call propaganda. We can breeze right by that. All we have to do is go into the Greek. And it's gorgeous. You're going to love this, people. Now, get ready for Jewish cult for the first time. I know you haven't seen this. I know you haven't seen it yet. Okay, get ready. I love this world. I love this. It's like when that reality hits you, and people write me and they tell me this. They say, Amen, when that reality hits me, the reactions. People describe the reactions, and it's amazing. This makes sense. That makes sense. Oh, yeah, exactly. Exactly. They can't do anything with the sources, people. Have you noticed that? Oh, my God. The flim-flammers, the sellers, all those people, right? It's about something that you've caught on to. All right, now you've got a bad taste in your mouth. That's why I have respect for you, congregation. And your email is gorgeous. Now, somebody did watch this. This is pretty cool. You can put me down and bring up some circus clowns, please. Our speed tonight is terrible again. I wanted to say that somebody emailed me and said, hey, and they were real kind of like lazily haughty, and they said, you claim Medea is the first Christ, and look, I give this to ChatGPT. We must be missing the picture, right? And out comes this great long screed about how Dr. Hillman is wrong, that Medea is not a Christos at all, right? And it goes on this hilarious 5 paragraphs of bullshit, right? Now, I told you that Medea was the first Christ, and that's exactly right. And you can find that. Right? You can find it. All you got to do, go look up Diodorus Siculus, and you'll find there that she Christs herself when she makes the container with the drugs in it. It says it's her best drugs that she carries around the town to fumigate the people to turn them into Bacchants. She first Christs herself. Now, this idiot couldn't find it, and the idiot AI that worked on it also couldn't find it because they don't conjugate verbs. Or they would know with the feminine, you're not going to find it in that form. You looked in the wrong place. Do you see? An entire screed thrown off completely by one premise. One premise. And that's, hey, dude, you are either a samurai or shut up. Right? Don't you dare get in this arena with the Greek. Don't you dare unless you know what you're doing, or you're going to end up like Kips and DuckTales Dan. You're going to end up as bumps in the road. People are going to they're going to say things. Other people are going to look at them and see the obvious bullshit. That's what people saw with the review that I got from the BMCR, the Bryn Mawr Classical Review, which makes and breaks careers. And everything they said is just as backwards and phony and full of sales. The stench of sales in academics, the stench of sales in universities, the smell of greed. Smells like oh God, I don't want to say it. I can't. Chewy. Look at I'm SpongeBob Kickpan. Right. Well, those are the good old days, right? When the idiots lined up, right? Now they run. They run. Nobody will talk to us, people. Nobody will talk. Right. And I promised I will sit there cordial, nice, and as nice to you as you are to me. Right. Let's just talk text. Let's just talk text. And why is it that Euripides says a Christ is a sex drug? Huh. You people didn't notice it, did you? Did you? No, they didn't, congregation. You know that. My whip's not here tonight. My whip's not here. My whip is not feeling well. No. Give me the next one, please, Joey. Boom. People, look at this text and look at what you're going to find in the highlighted. This is Pharmakos. Again, these are all from the Septuagint. Okay, so I'm giving you a very quick shotgun approach to the cold. Right? What does this say in verse 11? I'm going to take away your drugs. You see, Pharmakos, I'm going to take away your drugs. I'm going to take them right out of your hands. Kai apophengomenoi ukesunta. There's not going to be any more apophengoing. I'm going to take your drugs. You're not going to apophengo. Next. Wait, show me what the apophengo is. Then you can do yours. What is the apophengo? What is this verb? It means to speak one's opinion plainly. Oh, well, that's not too exciting. Taking away your drugs and your... Now, look, DuckTales Dan would say, you can't look at the bottom here and use that one, right? Chant hymns. And notice where the source is, LXX. That's the Septuagint. So we know we are exactly right. What does God threaten to do to you? He threatens to take away your drugs so you can't sing any more hymns. Do you remember what Jesus was doing on his way to getting arrested with a naked kid in a public park? He was singing hymns using bread that was prophetic, according to Nonus, bread for which he needed an antidote. Oh my God. Are you kidding me? Oh, it's gorgeous. Give me the next one. Give me the next one. People, no hymns. No hymns, no drugs. Now you're sitting there, you're thinking, how the hell are drugs and hymns going hand in hand? It's because you don't know the creator of the Jewish cult. And this is from Sirach. And what does he say? Oh my God. Kurios ektisen ekges pharmaka. The Lord created drugs from earth. Kai aner phronimos ou prosohie autois. Oh my God. And the man who has half a brain, the dude with half a brain doesn't look down and have contempt for these drugs. I'm going to say it one more time. The Lord created drugs from the earth, and any smart dude doesn't look down on them. Okay? Do you understand? In Jewish cult, drugs were a thing. They were part of it. Do you understand? Fantastic. Right? Fantastic. Kurios. Give me the next one. Thank you, Lord. That's what that says, people. And next time somebody's quoting you the Bible, you quote them that one. You quote them that one. People, look at the second line. Almost to the end of the line, you see the word son. What is going on? We are in Christing drugs. And he says, this is actually pretty fun. Dude, I'm going to tell you tonight, this is the dude who had the sparrows poop in his eyes, right? And he got a leukoma. He got a infection in his eye, right? And he goes to the doctor, and here he says, right, he goes to the doctors for help, and he says the problem is with the very same, the more they Christed those drugs into me, the more they Christed them, the worse it got. And eventually, I just went totally, I couldn't see anything. Right? What do I want you to see? I want you to see the anthropology of the Septuagint, or I want you to see it within the Jewish cult. And I want you to realize this is a Hellenistic perspective. These are people who are saying, I'm writing about a dude in the 8th century, only they're not telling you they're writing about it. They're telling you the dude is writing about it. This is the work of Isaiah from the 8th century, from hundreds of years ago. But the problem is they're using contemporary images, cult images, contemporary pharmacology. This is Hellenistic. It's the earliest Judaism, and it's Hellenistic. People think Judaism developed thousands of years in the pharaohs. Oh, let my people go. No, the narrative that is that story developed in Hellenistic Alexandria. Okay. And it is marked, fingerprinted. Do you understand? It is marked with its own environment from Hellenistic Greek. Do you understand me? It's in the language, people. It's absolutely gorgeous. Let's keep going. I'll show you what I mean. Give me the next one, Chewy. Give me the next one. Now, these are careful. Remember, God loves drugs. He made them from the earth, and you're an idiot if you don't consider that. Right? Okay. How many idiots out there? By the way, I think every Orthodox person, I think every Catholic conservative, I think every evangelical, right? Every one of them would have to say, hey, Nancy Reagan was full of shite according to your holy books. God doesn't want you to say, don't do drugs. He just told you, I made them. And you're an idiot if you don't pay attention to their powers. Woo! And not just watch them, but live them. What is this? This is Exodus, right? Oh, God. What's going on? Look at the top line, people. Look at the Pharmakos. What is a Pharmakos? That's somebody who is versed in drug use, right? And you say, oh, that's, I know some people who are like that. Right? Realize that when the term doesn't just necessarily imply experience, right? It implies working knowledge of, right? With all of these different drugs that they're using. This is polypharmacy, people, right? There's a ton of drugs that they're using, right? And what else do we have? We have these people who have drug knowledge, and we have epodes. We have epodes. What are those epodes? Right now we're getting into the music, the combination of the music and the drugs. And he says, lo and behold, watch out for the pharmakais. All of that art, right? This is what the Egyptians are doing. right? It's what the Egyptians are doing. Remember where you are. This is coming to you, right? From Hellenized Egypt. What is Hellenized Egypt? People, I'm going to tell you history for the first time. Nobody has the guts. Oh, and by the way, there's a rabdon here, right? There's a rabdon. Look at the bottom line, people. What is that? It's an instrument of Dionysus. It's an instrument used within the cult mysteries. Is the Jewish cult a mystery cult? Yes, yes. Congratulations. Oh my God. Right? Right? Do you see the horns now? Fantastic. They thought it was a heifer. Can you believe that? They're so, my God. You know why they think it's a cow? Some kind of red cow, virgin cow. Do you know why? Perfectly red. Do you know why they think that? Because the Greek wrote the word for heifer in that prophecy in the Greek is the word for priestess. You knuckleheads. You smell in your underwear. It's clearly detectable. We're cool. Okay, give it to me. Right? Do you see how backwards monism is? It forces you, when you jettison the feminine, it forces you to do strange things. Right? More acid in the faces of them and stuff like that. You know what I mean? You've got to rub out that natural beauty, that natural God lady beauty. I love it. Is it up there yet? Okay, fantastic. People, look at this source. I'm going to shock you with this one too. What is this one? Again, it's from Exodus. Yeah, the priests here of the Egyptians, epodes, right? Look at the top line, epoidoi, right? Those people. What did they do? They couldn't stand, right? They could, oh, God. Why? What are they doing? They're doing pharmakeia. You understand? These plagues that you run into, the Septuagint literally says they couldn't stand before Moses. Let's get that one. I think it's next. Give me the next one. Remember, we're in the 3rd, 2nd century, and we're talking about we're interjecting narrative into the past, but we're using present images to do it. And here is the wisdom of Solomon. Oh, people, look. Now, people will say, oh, God, but the drugs were all just, painkillers and stuff, right? None of the psycho stuff, right? No, it's all psycho stuff, right, people? They just found their hair in antiquity. They found those offerings of hair off that island off of Spain. And it's got, what do they have in it? They've got, guess what? Same thing they've got down in Colombia, right? It's the scopolamine, baby. I saw that devil guy. We got to get that clip. There's a scopolamine using dude who was standing under the tree that makes the pods that produce the stuff that you need to refine down into it, whatever, right? He's jumping around the tree. Oh, God, people. And he yells out, Diablo, right? Diablo. It's brilliant. What does this say? People are apistuntes. They are not believing. They are not faithful. Right? They don't see and absorb panta all things. Why? Diatas pharmakeas. Because they've been touched by those drugs that come from the earth. Do you understand why they all turned? They all turned to her. What you English speakers decided would be firmament. That's not her. The firmament is the heifer, is the Parthenos. Right? It's absolutely good. No, I'm serious. Go check it out. That's what it's in the language, right? When you're under the influence, it can change the way, the things that you grasp and the things that you accept. Remember, there was a rebellion in the priesthood, and there were people who followed Korah, who are going to go do their own things because they could still see God. And Yahoo promised on the other side Moses, right? You're only going to do it this way with this incense, right? All right, perfect. People don't. Did you ever know that there was so much drugs in the Bible? No, of course you didn't. And where did these references are translated right out? They'll put down like witchcraft for this, people. Witchcraft. What? Excuse me, but no. If I had whip tonight, I would speak every Victorian bottom. I would bring up some Victorian scholar, looks like a goof, and I would disrobe him and beat him with my whip tonight. Oh God, I would love his little screams. Hail Korah is right. I love it. So let's go back, people. Let's go back and see more Jewish cult. I want to see the actual performance of the cult, right? That's all we want, people. Here you go. It's going to be very different from what you have today. It's going to be nothing the same. I'm going to say that one more time. Jewish cult. And when I say cult, I mean cultus. Religious. Farming. Cultivation. Yeah, it's just a term that classicists use for whatever the religious rites are, whatever the religious beliefs are. That's its cultus. That's what they're cultivating. Fantastic. So here's the Jewish cult here. What does Yahoo insist upon? He says, look, you have got to hate, right? It's a command to hate. You've got to hate the works of Pharmakos. Look at that, into that first line. You've got to hate the works that they do, those terrible things that they do, from that art of drugs, Kai, and look at the second line, teletas, anosius, and initiations. That's the word for the mystery initiation. Mystery initiations that are anosios, that are unholy. What are they doing? Look at verse 5. They are mercilessly slaughtering children and enjoying the sweet bits of humanity, those sweet sacrifices that Theocritus talks about when he writes his boy poetry. Do you understand? And what else? The thoinon, the feasting on flesh and blood. The feasting on flesh and blood, people. Look at the third line. The feasting, right? Thoinon of what? Sarkon kai haimatos. I told you, when Jesus sits there at his dinner with his bread that is poisoned, and he says, yeah, eat of my flesh and drink of my blood. This is not new. He did not wake up, oh God, I'm the Son of God. What am I going to do? Let's see. Well, they could eat my flesh and drink my blood, right? Those of you who follow the fairy tale, part of it, the Romans were right. If you read this Bible and you think that this is the way things should be, you're living in a friggin' fairy tale. Right? Jesus is not saying, coming up, inventing, eat my flesh and drink my blood, people. It's what mystery religions do. And they do it with drugs and hymns. And when Jesus goes skipping with his naked boy to the public park, what's he doing? He's already drugged them, and now they're singing. They're going to enter into the mystery. You boneheads. They crucified a dude who was guilty of sexual crimes against children. And you people worship him. Why do you think you're not in hell? Why do you think you're not in hell? Do you know what people who are in hell do? They dream of going to heaven. That's you. Give it to me. Oh, God. I'm letting it out tonight, people. I love this Jewish cult. Right? Any ancient cult is glorious, people. Right? What is he saying? Look at number 5. Here in this section, he's saying, you have a thumos. You have this chest, right? That's like a serpent. Right? How so? It's like that asp. It's like that asp, man, with its deafening hisses, and it doesn't listen to the voice of the epode. Wait, what? Yeah, it doesn't listen. The epodes use their song to counteract venom. Now, the song is wrapped up in with drugs because look what follows it. Pharmakute, pharmakeo menu. Pharmakeo menu. Excuse me. And somebody will say, some idiot will say, oh, look, there's reduplication. It must mean it's of a different language. No, that's okay. It's stylistic, people. They do this all the time. It's nothing to, if you said that everything that was in a foreign language is like this, you'd have to take a third of the freaking Greek that I've read. It's standard, people, right? So I don't know. People are just evil. They're evil when they lie, right? In order to deceive you. It's just bullshit, people. Look at the bottom line. What do you get there? You get epodes fighting venoms with drugs. And they're doing it parasofu, out of wisdom, from wisdom. And why would they do that? Because God, Yahoo, the one who makes love between men, Yahoo is the maker of the drugs. Don't be an idiot, he says, right? Sophia, wisdom says, this is Solomon, baby. Why do you think Solomon's got so many drugs around him? Why do you think there's so much going on? Oh, God. Why do you think the cartel queen came up and visited him? Brought him a whole bunch of drugs. People, wake up. It's gorgeous. Don't you love it? Give me the next one. We use that one just totally. She's exhausted, right? If she's not limping the next day, you didn't do your job. Give me the next one. What's he talking about, Daddy? It's absolutely ridiculous if you get outside the narrative. You know what I mean? Septuagint. Here's the Maccabees. Oh, here's the Maccabees. Look, I left this one on for you. Most of the time, I'm like, yeah. Okay, I don't have time. Anyway, look at Pharmakos Houghton. He poisoned himself and ex elipen ton bion, and he left behind his life. I just wanted you to see, right? Oh God, little poisoning. Give me the next one. Give me the next one. A little poisoning via suicide. Did you have a picture? Don't you have a picture of our guy? This guy. Now, people, suicide in antiquity. It's going to range over different places. If you live in somewhere mountainous, the jumping off a cliff is going to be a big way of dying. You know what I mean? Their capital punishments are all reflected in their geography. It's pretty funny. It's not funny, because it's gruesome. Right here, we're going to push you off the cliff. What's happened? You know what I mean? He said, you suck. Anyway, this guy gets to drink poison who's in Maccabees. Right. Good job. I'm not saying him, but I'm saying good job that we can see some of the real. Right. This is the real from the text. You normally don't see the real. And the way that you know you're being bamboozled is whenever you talk about the Bible with anybody and it feels like you're in that fairy tale realm. Right. And they're like, oh, Jesus loved you so much. Right. And no, he took the whole sins of the world onto himself and he died for your sins. And now if you just have faith in Jesus and pray this prayer with me, halabaloolambiba, and the next thing you know, you realize that you just didn't do any forensics. That wasn't a law court that you were just in. There's no laboratories in this space. It's pure flim-flamming theology and bullshit faith. Bullshit, right? Nature wins, people. Because look, what are they doing? They're having sex with drugs, people. It's in the religion. It's baked into the religion. In the graveyards, by the way, that's where they're doing it, right? Who are these? The Hoi Pharmakos. Here we got more in Exodus. We got more drug-wielding sons of guns who can't stand before Moses. Diate helke, because they've got sores done. They've got sores all over their bodies. Now you people know because you've been here faithfully, loyally. And you've been here and you know. Lycanthropy causes those sores. You were thinking it was a fairy tale and God was like sitting on a cloud sprinkling down sores. And here comes Charlton Heston. And no, because you can't read those texts, people. I am telling you, you do not read the text. You don't know. The text is the evidence. You don't read them, you don't know. And when you read a translation, you don't read the original. Now this one, let's leave this one on for a little bit because people, I saw this one. This is from the Bible. And I was just scanning for my drugs. You see my drugs in the top line, Pharmakos, right? But then I was gonna, every time I find one, I'm like, okay, what's the going on? Read the context, and it says Porneia. I saw that. And I was like, okay, my work is done. My work is done. What is a Porneia? It is a beautiful woman who engages in sexual activity for the sake of an occupation or career. Yeah, sexual activity is an element of what they're doing. That's Porneia. Okay, this one happens to be Kali. She's gorgeous, and Epicharis, man. Okay, she's got all that charm. And how does she work? Hegumene pharmakon. Hegumene is to really engage something, to propel something forward, to engage, to create an enterprise. What is she doing? She is leading with those drugs. Who is this woman? She's a beautiful Porneia who works with drugs. And what has she done? This is Yahoo blowing off steam. He says this bitch has sold the nations into Porneia, her own Porneia, right? And the people into her drugs. Remember, people, if they're using drugs and sexual activity to induce visionary states, don't you think different people are going to develop different ways using different drugs? Don't you think there are going to be some drugs that push you this way? Some drugs, you go that way. You go to the South Pole. Holy mackerel. Right? They got to tie you down for this. And they did. Right? Imagine if your doctor comes out and ties you down before administering your medicine. Well, if he's got 3 gorgeous singing, dancing nurses with him, I guess I don't care. Right? That is Jewish cult. What does he say here? This is a beautiful prostitute. She's leading everybody astray, people. That's okay. You can leave. She's leading everybody astray. Now, is this unusual for this? Oh, God, I just got cut in half. Is it unusual? Is it unusual for people to go through these types of circumstances? Yes. It's quite typical. Excuse me. It's quite typical, right? We have it in the New Testament too. There are cases of women who were being used as dispensers of communion within the mystery by magi. Do you understand? This is not unusual, right? So here we've got one, and Yahoo's pissed about this one, right? And he says, look, I'm the Pantocrator. He uses a Greek title, which has to be totally fudged to say it's not, right? And what is he going to do? By the way, he's a jerk. This shows what a jerk Yahoo is, right? Imagine if this was your God. What does he say to her? I'm going to lift up your clothing and expose your privates, baby. I'm going to show your shame to everyone. They're going to all bring you dishonor, and then I'm going to throw. What am I going to do? I'm going to throw on you all of my pollution, bruh, and all of my akatharsia. Those are sexual fluids, right? And I'm going to make an example out of you. What was Yahoo going to do to the Porneia? He was going to banana her in front of his people. Blessed be the God of the pirate Abraham. Do you see? This is 3rd century. This is 3rd century. Was there a Jezebel in there? I know Jezebel's coming up. I think she's coming. Give me another one, Chewy. Give me another one. We got to feed off of these. Oh, God. Okay, people, check this out. It looks like a lot, but I'm going to give it to you quick. More Jewish cult. More Jewish cult. I'm taking you in steep as we can go into it. And I'm showing you Yahoo. Is it up? I'm showing you Yahoo, who is fighting, right? Struggling for dominance. He just got kicked out of Crete. Where does Yahoo come from originally? He comes from Crete, right? Fantastic. I'm going to introduce you to a demon. Look at verse 14. This is Tobit, I think. I think this is Tobit. Okay, so let's just read it from verse 14. Then the kid said to the angel, the Paidadion said to the angel, hey, Azariah, bruh, right? I have heard about this Kurasion, about this young girl, right? The kid's being set up. The Paidadion is being set up. He's got to marry somebody within his own extended family, right? So he's got to be able to find some. Here she is. Now he's going to tell him though. This is a kid walking with an angel. This is a kid walking with an angel. Okay. Fantastic. I think we got through. Give it to me. Blow it up. I can't see. Okay. And Azariah says, he says, hey, Azariah, bruh. He says, I've heard this girl, right? She had 7 husbands, right? And all of them died on the night of them entering the nymphony, entering the bed of marriage with her. So they got in there and they got into the bed, but in the morning, they were dead. Now, if this doesn't anthropologically and psychologically turn you on totally, something is seriously, is that what something is serious? Not this picture. If the Bible doesn't turn you on completely, what is going on here, people? Wow, this is a puzzle. Who is this woman? Right? Well, she's not even a woman. She's a nymph. Who is this teenage girl who's been killing off the men who keep coming back? Right? My God. You'd think that the third one she killed, they would have been like, wait a minute, let's not do the whole engagement thing anymore. You know what I mean? Don't you think something weird is going on? You know what happens? The prostitutes, remember these are pirates, the prostitutes of her father start criticizing her for the fact that she's killing off all the guys that she's sleeping with. Oh my God. People, any ideas? Any ideas why this could be? Bring up that the last one. Any ideas why this could be? Does anybody know? What is it with this girl that is causing this death? Enter Asmodeus. Enter Asmodeus. Who is Asmodeus? He's the demon. If you had the drugs and the initiation, you would see him. He's the demon who follows her. And what does this text say? Bring up that text. It's absolutely gorgeous. Yeah. What does this demon do? Remember, people, where we are and the cult that we're looking at. Okay. Remember, what are the circumstances of our party tonight? The reason that we're here is these people are dying. And the reason they're dying is this couple, this gorgeous, gorgeous nymph and her demon. Let's see what it says. All right. So he says, look, because he's supposed to marry her. This is one of her cousins. He's supposed to marry her. He says, look, if something happens, I'm afraid that I'm going to die too, just like the people that came before me, because he says the demon loves her and he doesn't do bad to anyone except for the people who come into her. And now I'm afraid, look, I'm going to die, dude, and I'm going to leave a mother and a father. What about inheritance? That stuff's all gone. And the angel, right, turns to him and he says, hey, remember what's been said, right? You got to take this wife, blah, 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 brah. You got to take this wife. Just do it. And what's the answer? Look at the bottom line. Look at 17. The angel says, look, and if you go into her bed, take the very residue that's left over after the burning of the incense, and you're going to take and you're going to remove the heart and the liver of that fish, and you're going to add it to this, and then you're going to burn it. And the devil, it goes on to say in the next verse, that's okay, I cut it off. It goes on to talk in the next verse about that will drive Asmodeus away. Right? Do you see the Jewish cult? The attempt is to get rid of the demon that loves the girl. The attempt is to get rid of that demon. It is a form of exorcism. Jewish cult is birthed in exorcism. When Jesus Christ is going out to the cemeteries with all the lycanthropes and he's healing them. And by the way, if I see one more reference outside of the Bible that talks about these Christed clothes that these magi wear, these Christed clothes that cause people to have friggin' visions, if I read this one more time, oh God, it's people don't know. They just don't know. That's all over the Bible, people. If you know the Greek, you know the text. And that text is the reality, and it's not fairy tale. None of the Bible is fairy tale. None of it. It's great anthropology, right? Please remember, we're in the 3rd century, writing about Jewish cult from the 3rd century. Give me the next one. Hellenistic Greece, right? Or at least Hellenistic Greek. The language is dominating. We're in North Africa, but we're still being dominated, right? Because that's the way it is, baby. When your language is so strong, that you dominate everybody around you. You got Roman emperors, spewing Greek. Why? Because it's superior. Lucretius comes along and says, I'd love to explain to you all of this physics, but I'm going to have to do it in Latin, and the language is just poor. It just cannot do what the Greek can do. Right? Okay. Look at verse 8 here. What are we going to do? What else does he want in Tobit? We met a fish, and there was a kid there, and the fish tried to eat the kid. Kid captured the fish, took the fish's organs. And what does it say here? You're going to take the chole, you're going to take the bile of the fish, and you're going to plaster it into somebody's eyes. You're going to prep the drug, and you're going to treat this problem that he's got. All right? People, again, more Bible, more drugs. The drugs and the cult, the drugs and the God go hand in hand. Your drugless mysteries are bullshit. Do you understand me? There are no drugless mysteries. They don't exist. Oh, God. People don't really think, oh, okay, well, our religion is old, but what you are actually doing, you don't know. Right? Imagine the Christians if I told them we're going to go to church and Helen is going to be there. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to line up and we're going to lick Helen. Okay? And after you lick Helen, just go sit down. Just go sit down. Okay? Things are going to happen. You think I'm making that up? That stuff is in the Bible, dudes. It's in the Bible. Jude is saying, stop doing this. This is the way of Cain. Stop it. Right? Beautiful, gorgeous communion. They're doing it. You know what I mean? Oh, man. If they just didn't complain about it, then we wouldn't know. But then a whole bunch of people complain, right? People who are not involved, that they're being kept from being involved, right? Those people, they get jealous after a while. Well, look what those people are doing, right? Have you been to Corinth lately? Have you seen what the Christians do in Corinth? The Christians in Rome burn down libraries. Those bastards burn down libraries. But the Christians in Corinth, I don't know. Some of these parties they have, I don't know. Have you seen it? Yeah, there's a lot of good-looking people there. You know what I mean? Fantastic. Is the way of Cain. Yeah. Is the way of Cain stuff of the buttocks. Just take Lord Byron's word for it. He wrote a work called Cain, a Mystery, right? Go, behold the way of Cain. Do it through Lord Byron. Elevate yourself. Griffin, elevate yourself. My God, man, get your mind out of the... Anyway, keep going. Get your mind out of the Bible. I bet he was at Sodom and Gomorrah. And, you know, remember at Sodom and Gomorrah, he was like, here, take my daughters. Take my daughters. When is that ever a good phrase? Cannot be a good thing. But the fact that he knew he could do that, again, is more anthropology for you. Right? Fantastic. What does this say, people? I'm going to tell you something now that's new. I've never told you. And it is in this Sophia. It's in this wisdom. Are you ready? This is from the Bible, people. Philos pistos. Pharmakon zois. Now, some of you are going to say, pistos, I know what that means. No, it doesn't mean what you think it does. It's not faithful, right? Used here. Pistos is potable. Potable. How do I know that? You know, how can a word, one word can have two totally different definitions like that? And when you have to decide which way do you go, what do? You use environment. Well, what is the environment here linguistically? It's right next to pharmakon. All right. It's right next to pharmakon. Drug. Is it a faithful drug? No, it's a potable. And it's philos. It's good, baby. Right? It's beloved. We love it. Right? And it is what? It is the pharmakon zoes. It is the drug of life. And those who fear the Lord will find it. Have you found the drug of life? If you haven't, you got jack shit. You got no wisdom. Buzz off. Morons. Why? Can you believe they were so strict? Right? What does wisdom say in the earliest Jewish cult that survives in a linguistic form? What is the earliest? It's this. And what are they doing? They're using drugs. And if you don't, you're an idiot. And you don't know God. Shame on you. Fantastic. That's why you need that savior, baby. Give me the next one. I hope I got through all of that one, but yeah, put this one up. Yeah, I'm sure I did. Let's see. Yeah, I'm sure. Okay. A couple more people, a little more Jewish cult. I know you want to see it. Let's see some more. Again, this is all Bible, people. You didn't know this was in the Bible, did you? These translations are garbage. You're not going to find good translations of any of this. That's why you need to go to the Greek, man. Just go to the Greek. Okay, I need you to blow it up, though. Okay, fantastic. Sorry, Chewie decided to do some maintenance. Okay, fantastic. Aeon days. Look, God says if you come into the land which the Lord God gave you, right? Or will, the one that He's going to hand over to you, right? Yeah. Don't learn to do according to the really gross stuff of the people, right? Don't get involved in their purifications. Don't purify your son. Don't purify your daughter. Do not purify them in the fire. Wait, what? Yeah, he's talking about very specific acts here. Very specific acts, initiatory acts. This is the burning off of the mortality. And he says, don't do it. Don't do it. Now, wait a minute. If this is the 3rd century, that makes sense. Total sense. And it makes sense that we have other texts that talk about very same thing, very same acts, very same cult ritual. That makes sense. But if this writing is actually from the 8th century, when it's supposed to be chronologically, oh no, we have a problem. We have a real problem. Is that stuff going on locally? Where are we talking about? Okay. Galilee? Where's this dude abducted from? Galilee? Okay. Do you see? Every text has fingerprints, baby. And those fingerprints are left in the language, embedded in the language. And people who pretend to read it don't actually read it. And a person who actually does read it, who is a samurai, you can tell right away. I can tell within 20 seconds. All right? It's fantastic. Why? I don't know. Because I've been doing it all my life, you people. What's it? Yeah, no, put that back. Why'd you take that? It wasn't done. It was the whole time? My God, man, I am so confused. I need to up my meds or something, you know what I mean? That's not funny. People, what else is happening in this passage? That he says, I don't want you burning your kids in the fire. I don't want you doing that. And then what's the very next word? Manteomenos. Manteon. I don't want you to enter the mantic state in order to to give prophecy, right? I don't want you to kledonos. I don't want you to resort to an attempt to come up with an oracle. And I don't want you to take the flights of birds. Again, these are all things that they're doing that the Hellenistic audience would know. Okay? All right? Do you understand? These things are not being written in the 9th, 8th, 7th centuries. They're being projected back. And in order to make it believable, we have to write an introduction that says, well, originally this was in Hebrew, just like all the law and the prophets and, all those other books, which didn't exist and don't exist. Okay? Do you see what happened? It's a tragedy, people. It's a tragedy because it obscures your reality. Look at verse 11. What does it say there? It says, you got wizards, baby, given their epodes. You got drug users enrolling their drug songs. We don't want you doing this. Don't want you using the familiars, right? We don't want you looking at the signs. We don't want you inquiring with the dead. Everything that he just described. Everything. Why? These are delugma, right? This is dirty. This is the stuff that they're doing in the cemeteries, baby. Wait a minute. I thought we were back in the Dark Ages. Nope. Nope. We're in Hellenistic Greece, baby. And this is a great description of all the contemporary religious stuff that's being discussed in the museum. Fantastic. You thought you were living in a fairy tale, and now you realize you are not. And the people who are saying, oh my God, one person, how could one person be so arrogant as to say something different? Well, I'm telling you, the world is not flat. And there's reality out there, people. And here it comes. Sorry, flat earthers. I love to kick you around a little bit. I love to kick you around. I do. Give me the next one. People, come on. Seriously. Give me the next one. We have to hold ourselves to standards, dudes. Right? There has to be reasoning here. Go ahead. Okay, I've got enough time. It's time for about 6 more. I just want you to see more drug users here. And this is an extension of that last one, right? This is delugma. This is pollution, he says. Right? Okay. And it's because of this, he's going to destroy you. He's going to destroy you, people. Oh my God. And you will be, look at verse 13. Teleos esse enantion kuritu theusu. You will be initiated. You will be complete. Do you understand? Yahweh is not saying, I don't want you to be involved in the mysteries. He is just telling you very specifically the avenue to be involved. All right? And what is that? It's just a typical monist approach. It's what they did in Egypt in the 1300s. They did the same thing. It's a monist approach. Fantastic. Next. Fantastic. Right? He's going to destroy those people. He's going to destroy them. Fantastic. Right? Not only does Yahoo humiliate women sexually in public, but he also knocks down a lot of cities and stuff, right? For what reason? For not following, not doing the right thing in order to affect that mystery. There are laws about that. There are very strict laws in this narrative being created in the 3rd century. You understand? Right? Without any predecessors. They are creating the prophets without older documents that are in Hebrew. They don't have them. They don't exist. There are no books. Sorry, people. The Dead Sea Scrolls, let me just give you a hint that'll save you a whole bunch of time. With the Dead Sea Scrolls, they're the Greek sources that the people are copying out into Hebrew, right? They're not copying those into Greek, I tell you that, because that stuff is already around. They don't need to. It's already an established text that people are quoting, right? Were you aware that authors in the Septuagint will quote other authors of the time, just like the New Testament? Are you aware they quote classical authors? You can use that to date them, right? Oh my God, sloppy. Bible scholars are sloppy. What does this say? I'm going to be a witness. I'm going to judge you. Go. This is Yahweh again, pissed off in Malachi. I'm going to judge you. I'm going to be a witness. Right? What am I going to witness about? Your Pharmakos and your moichalidas. Your Pharmakos and your moichalidas. Why are those two things together? Drugs and sex. And it's not just any sex. It's sex that goes outside the boundaries of any agreement or social contract. Do you understand? It was just there to be there. I wanted it. She wanted it. We both had a great time. What is he going to witness against? The combo of that mystery that joins that moichalidos, that sex for sex's sake, and the drugs. You have to get there. You have to see God. Do you understand me? If you don't bring her out, you haven't been into the mystery. What is the mystery of Eleusis? The Eleusinian mystery, what is it? It's the resurrection of her. Right? Oh, God. Now, do you understand? And Jewish cult is no different. It's built upon the same drug framework. Okay? Remember, the drugs are good. The Bible told you that. Bible told you that drugs are good. Give it to me. And you're an idiot if you don't learn about how to use them properly. All right? Give me the next one. Okay, people? I know. I'm showing you as much Jewish cult as I can. That's all I'm going to do this week, right? That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to show you the birth of the monist world. That's all we're doing. Here's another one. More drugs. Surprise, Daniel. Right? What is this? The king's giving orders, right? He says, get those epodes and the magi and the drug people. Right? Make them interpret the enupnia. Make them interpret the dreams. Do you understand? He is describing the enupnia from Hellenistic Greece. Hellenistic Greece. And he is trying to push, the author of this is trying to push that information back into a time centuries before where this would not apply. These are very, very specific Greek mystery terms that are being discussed and used and written and composed with hymns and song in Hellenistic Greece, particularly the museum, people. The museum is the heart. It's the cradle. It's the cradle of humanity. Yeah. And it was Mother Greek that kept it going. God. Love it. I love that background, by the way. Who loves, by the way, and nice job, Teddy Bass, as well. By the way, Chewy, nice backgrounds. You're getting so, I mean, with the, even the mood, you're beginning to, you know what I mean? Because that guy in front, I kind of get it. You know what I mean? I've had it. I think I had the scopolamine or something. Right? I'm starting to, all I can look at is that goat, and he looks fantastic. Now, people, I'm telling you, hypothetically, right? I'm telling you how the cult is working. I'm not describing myself. Right? Please. I do love that goat, though. God, that's a good one. I love that one. Morning sun, maybe it is. Maybe they were just out. Assembled the sons of God. They're waiting now for the daughters of men. They are. Wait, guys. It's coming. Hail the muses. Good job, Chewy. Give it to me. Give me the next one. We need another source. Come on. These people have things to do. It's a Monday night. Right? Put the kids to bed, for goodness sakes. People, what does this say? I just want you to see. Yeah. He's talking about how to get rid of the demon. I just want to see. He's talking about how to get rid of the demon again. And I want you to see verse 9. He talks about the hole and in Christing a person, right? In the eyes. Okay. Again, people, I said 6 months ago, I said on podcast airways, I said, Christing, treatment of your eyes causes visions, right? Going from darkness to light does that too. Yeah. And people were like, no, you're silly. Christing your eyes? What are you talking about? When it's written in the Apocalypse, the very same thing. They missed all of these references. People, do you see how much people miss who have stood up to me and said, Oh, you're totally, well, they didn't stand up to me. They just did it kind of skeezily. But you know what I mean? YouTube skeezy, we'll call it, right? Because it's easy and scummy at the same time. Skeezy, right? This material is what these Bible scholars who were telling you, I'm full of it. This is what they never look at. Dude, they don't read this. How many people do you think read the Septuagint today? How many people? Somebody's going to say, oh, my Greek Orthodox priest pretends to. Well, he can suck it because the patriarch in Boston told me I was right. Oh, God. I love that. I love it. At least he said he was afraid I may be right. Give it to me. You're right, buddy. Read it and let the people know. Fantastic. Goats. Give me the next verse. I don't like his theatrics, Martha. You're lucky. You're lucky I don't have a whip, Martha. I'm coming to see you, baby, in your sleep. I don't care how old you are. I'm coming to see you because in your dreams you can appear however you want. It's fantastic. Septuagint. Right? If any goats show up, I guarantee you. Right? Right? Oh, God. What did he do? The king compelled the oh, God. This is just Daniel again. He compelled. I think I duplicated that. Go to the next one. That's just a passage from Daniel. Here's Jeremiah. More drugs than Jeremiah, right? And just look at the environment that it's in. It's in the Enupniadzomenon, in those dream visions, right? That's an art, by the way, people. Being able to access an oracular state in a dream, right? Have an art to doing that, a science, if you will, from antiquity, and it involves drugs. It involves drugs. Next. You mean they just don't give you ideas and bombard your head? No, these people are heavy into the drugs. And here it is in Jeremiah, even the dude who faked the prophecies of Jeremiah, even that dude, right? What's happening, people? You see how we've absorbed Hellenistic grace? Oh, God. Su en Chrison ten holy. In Christ that holy, into his eyes. Please. Over and over and over again. When I saw people coming on and refuting me, it's difficult because you can't see it from my angle. You can't see what fraudulence is sitting right in front of your face. You can't see it, but I can. Any classicist can. And I'll say any classicist who's done the friggin' work. You know what I mean? They say, oh, 10% of ancient literature is Galen. Well, guess what? None of those jerk-offs have read Galen. All right? So they're missing 10%. No wonder they missed the Christ. It's pathetic. It's pathetic, people. Next one, that's more in Christing. I duplicated a bunch tonight. More Christing. Boom. Same one. Accidentally, I apologize. I should have removed that. Apologize. Give me the next one. It's coming up. Fantastic. Here is, the wisdom of Solomon. Right. Oh, same verse. Why did I repeat these, people? This is the word from Sophia. No, I think I miscommunicated with you. Julie, don't worry about it. Go down to this white one right here. I want people to see this. People, just so you know that we're in Hellenistic Greece, this is going to be something out of a Homeric hymn. And Homer is the driving force of the museum. Don't get yourself wrong. No, don't confuse yourself. Homer was profoundly impactful, not just on the Greek language, but on Greek culture. And he's really the reason that we have something like a museum. He's really the reason. And so we're really interested in him at this time. And here is one of the hymns that are attributed that you and I in the 3rd and 2nd centuries, we're sitting around studying this. This is what is sitting in the museum when your dude who's writing Sirach and who's writing Tobit, who's writing Genesis, this is what's sitting around. Okay, what does this say? What does this say? Look at the second line, first word, riesk. Is that a form of Christ? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. When you put that sigma kappa, it implies starting little, growing big, right? Riesk. So it's a process. It puts the Christing as a process. And what are we doing in this process? We are Christing with, look at the second word, ambrosie. What are we Christing with? Ambrosia. Hose, as if this kid is ekge gauta, as if this kid was produced by a god. And we are kata pneus. What is that great mother doing? What is that da mater doing? She is breathing upon him. Breathing upon him sweetly. Right? Oh, God. And holding him in golboisi. Right? In her breasts, against her breasts, in the plural here. Yeah. What is going on? This is the scene where Demeter, this is the holy scene of the Eleusinian mysteries. Demeter is burning off the mortality of this kid, just like the Jewish cult text said they were doing. Do you understand? There is overlap here, and it goes on and on and on. The drugs, the mystery, the sex of the mystery compel us forward. These activities of the Jewish cult are still embedded in the text directly, as you're seeing tonight. This should not be a mystery. This should not be a puzzle. How did those men die that went to her? How did they die in her bed? They were strangled. They were strangled? Yes. Look at them. Look at their faces. Asphyxiated. Completely asphyxiated. Do you know what the asphyxiation is brought by? It's brought by the Sphinx. It's brought by the Sphinx. To sphinx somebody. Right? What do? It's a she. First of all, the Sphinx is a she. And she is a strangler. Did you see Oedipus? Did you see Oedipus? He was ejaculating. There is an attic pot with Oedipus ejaculating in front of the Sphinx, the strangler. Do you know the drugs they're using? Do you know they cause asphyxiation? It's really paralysis, but asphyxiation. She is so upset, this girl who was hunted by Asmodeus. Right? This girl standing with him over her shoulder. Right? She is so frustrated, she tries to kill herself. And how does she logically try to kill herself? Same way she killed the men. Strangling. Chemically induced death. It's all over. This Bible is full of these drugs. The Sphinx is there. Every once in a while, she comes out of the hills and she demands kids as tribute. Yeah. The nymph ones, the ones that are ready to go, right? The ones that nature has given the green light. Go. She comes down to get them as tribute. And it's her oracles that drive the world. That's why Oedipus is doing what Oedipus is doing. Where did Oedipus begin? He began with an oracle. Where did he end up with an oracle? Oh my God. People say it's enigmatic. No, it's not enigmatic. It's ancient mystery cult. And Judaism is an ancient mystery cult. It is Bacchic worship, say the priests of Apollo. Judaism is Bacchic worship, and it is born in Hellenistic Egypt using the very same terminology that's being used in the museum. It's not confusing people. The story that Hebrew is the original language of the Old Testament or the Torah and the prophets, that is a falsehood that can be proven and proven and proven and proven and reproven over and over and over again. Just because you didn't see it, because you bought the fairy tale, doesn't mean it's not reality. Tonight, you've seen a glimpse of early Jewish cult. This is the cult that spawns everything that is monist Judaism. You're going to be surprised that this is so late. But guess what? Judaism and Christianity develop from the same crib. Oh, God. Oh, God. Do you see all the terms now? All the terms, we're going to be using them. Are you surprised that Jesus quotes the Septuagint so many times? So many times? Dozens and dozens of times. Guess what, people? This is the rise of the Antichrist. Thank you for coming tonight. I appreciate your time. People, please, I am reading your email and I'm trying to respond when I can. So please, no matter what, I read it. Even if I don't respond, I read it and I think, all right, click. All right, so give me your opinions, your verbal support or your criticism. I get lots of criticism too. And I read those just as enthusiastically. I love them because it's funny watching people who, I told you, there's two types. There's those who can read these sources and those who can't. And the reason we've been misled for so long is because these people can't read their sources. They just pretend to. Now, until we can meet again on the battlefield, I want you to know people are looking for challengers to this, to the Greek. And hopefully we'll find some. Until then, I declare complete and total victory over all forms of monism. Thank you for coming tonight. Hail Satan.
Plasma drugs are slick, they hit you real quick. Sun cakes, rice wrappers, puffin' death bubba. Super fly, I flow, grape juice in your eyes. What does Madua know? Mystery, don't surprise, sunrise, here we go. I spit on the microphone, dragon venom drips. Girls call me Dracula with blood on my lips. Jake the Snake, hail Satan, top rank. I could tell you the darkest chickadee, a kiss of poison, hot purple in your eyes. Christ you with the anointing oil, broadcasted from a device near you. Pull the strings on your shoes, singing the muse. Horrors and tragedy out of Pandora's box. Prometheus unchained, Hades volunteer, hail Satan, priest of Apollo. Let the genie out the bottle, let the light shine in. Madua, hail Satan, and fire up their medicine. Let the light shine in. Let the light shine in. Madua, hail Satan, and fire up their medicine. Let the light shine in.